everybody, and welcome back to my Dark Souls playthrough. This is part 16. Thank you for everybody that's been showing me support over the past couple weeks. It means a lot, and really this playthrough has been going a lot better than I thought it would be. I don't think I've really struggled with any of the bosses, which is nice, because Dark Souls has a few of those that can be sticking points. Today, we are not going to be going to Tomb of the Giants. What we're going to be doing, I think, is starting the DLC, actually. But there are some things that we have to do before we can actually get in there. And the first thing is we have to head down here to the Dark Basin. You know, actually, before I continue, I changed my armor a little bit. We're using the Helm of Favor now, along with the Xanthus overcoat and then the black leather leggings. Keeping the tattered manchets for now because there isn't really anything else we can use that will stay under our equip load, which is right now roughly at 27.5 if we want to stay at 25%, so I'm going to try and do that. Hopefully I can get enough endurance to be able to wield a full set of medium armor, but that is going to be a challenge. Here we have another, well, I guess really our first encounter with the Crystal Golems of Seath. And these are enemies that we see here for the first time, but they actually show up. Uh-oh. Oh, fuck, I got hit by that. But they actually show up in the Duke's archives as well. God. That Hydra over there is shooting water at us. So when you're fighting these guys, you want to try your best to stay behind trees and rocks and other cover. Uh-oh. Ooh. Sure got us. That Hydra we have to deal with. Gotcha. Before we can actually... I mean, I guess we could try and run by him, but you don't want to do that because you're going to get pot shots taken at you by this water. The Rusted Iron Ring can help for this part, because you're going to be moving through this. Rusted Iron Ring can help because, as you can see, we're going to be moving through this waist-deep water until we get right up on him, and then he's going to... Uh-oh. Yeah, that was weird. He shouldn't have been attacking us with water from that far. Hit him with one. So this boss, well, it's a mini-boss. It can be kind of dangerous. You can see, it's easier to see on the PC version than other versions, but there is a shelf that you can drop off, which will insta-kill you. After you kill the first couple heads, it might get a little bit harder to beat this guy because he doesn't like to cooperate in his head placement. They're not particularly sturdy though, so a running attack should deal with them at this point in the game. This isn't the strongest Hydra. We're going to face a stronger Hydra later, and actually we can actually kill this guy. I think one more head should do it because we're doing so much damage. And that's kind of weird because each head has their own health bar, but then they all contribute to the overall health the Hydra has too. So instead of hitting its heads, you could stand far away and then just pelt it with arrows until it dies. That's one way to do it. Sometimes if the heads like land way over there and you can't get to them in time, sometimes you have to just take shots with the arrow. The bow, rather. 2 drop the Dragon Scale and the Dust Crown Ring, which is right here. This magic crown-shaped ring was granted to Princess Dusk of Oolacile upon her birth. The ring stone allows its wearer to cast additional sorceries, but at the cost of 1/2 of HP. So that can be a pretty good ring for sorcerers to use if they're finding that they're having trouble getting through a level with their sorceries intact. The halved HP can be a problem, but for some zones and some bosses, where dodging is a better option than trying to block anyway, that's probably something good to use. This is where we'll find the golden golem that has Princess Dusk inside it, but we actually have to reload, so... Reloading is going to be something we're going to have to be doing kind of a lot. It has to, because zones have to reset before new things can get added to them, obviously. This guy's a little bit tougher than your average golem, though. Oh my god, my button press didn't go through. It didn't matter. We're pretty hardy right now. So you kill that guy, and out pops Princess Dusk of Oolacile.
So, 'tis thou who rescued me. Most gracious, I am deeply obliged. I am Dusk of Oolacile. I cometh from an age long before thine. I cannot stay here for long. So, before I disappear, allow me to ask one thing. My home, Oolacile, is the home of ancient sorceries. My hope is to pass this profound knowledge to thee, with thine approval. Would this be of assistance to thee?
You know, I think it would.
My heartfelt thanks. I am pleased beyond words. Then I shout, engrave my signature. If thou art in need, pray summon me from my signature. It seems that my time is done. May the great flames guide thee.
So then she fades out of existence. So Princess Dusk is from the past. And we'll see that going into the DLC. Time is convoluted in Lordran, as we have come to find out through Dialogue of Solaire. But what exactly that meant, I don't know, it kind of didn't have very much lore significance, really. It was really just kind of there, I think, at first, to explain why you could summon and why they were keeping some of the mechanics from Demon Souls. But here we see it actually comes into play. We're going to be traveling to the past for the DLC, and then kind of shaping our legend and the legend of Artorias, which is really cool. So this is where you can summon Dusk after you have freed her, and just touching it would be enough to summon her. That body over there has the knight stuff. Not a bad set of armor.
I am Dusk of Oolacile. It is an honor to see thee again. I shall follow thine wishes.
So she sells magic, but it's definitely a different type of magic than we're used to seeing. All of it is kind of not combat focused for the most part. There's hidden weapon, Chameleon, which is always a fun one. Repair, that imitates the use of repair powder. Cast Light, which I mentioned earlier, that works kind of similar to the Sunlight Maggot. Hidden Body, which makes your character model kind of transparent and less visible. And these are all sorceries of Oolacile. Well, let's examine a couple. Ancient Sorcery, the Lost Land of Oolacile, turns body nearly invisible. Although perfect invisibility is unachievable due to the risk of dissipation, the caster need only stand still for a moment to blend into environs with astounding camouflage. A hidden body can be used against certain enemies too. It decreases their detection range, I believe, similar to how the Ring of Fog did in Demon Souls. And combined with Hush, you can sneak by some groups of enemies completely. This light-producing sorcery is elementary, but nonetheless demonstrates the achievements and the mysticism of Oolacile. Such magic has not been developed even in Vinheim. Whether or not that's because of some skill gap, or because of difference in philosophy, we can't say. Repair. This sorcery was part of everyday life in Oolacile. Its effects resemble repair powder, which must have found its way into the culture of this lost land. Interesting. A separate stealth spell from Hidden Body, a skilled stealth sorcery must be aware of his or her surroundings, and of which objects are prime candidates for imitation. So yeah, Chameleon will choose from, I think, either a list of objects in each zone to transform you into, or one object for each zone. It'll usually be like a crate or a statue or something. And Hidden Weapon is a sorcery that turns your right weapon invisible. Not a simple augmentation, making it dependent on the skill of its caster. An example of the capacity of Oolacile sorceries to control light. Interesting. And she also sells the Oolacile Ivory Catalyst, which is the sorcery of the lost sorcery catalyst of sorcery catalyst of Lost Land of Oolacile, formed by enchanted white bark branches. The white bark boosts sorcery adjustment, but the sorceries of this lost land are gentle and not affected by intelligence. So you can see intelligence scaling for this catalyst is C, so not very big at all. And that intelligence requirement is also not very big. She teaches us the proper bow gesture. And we can talk to her a little bit.
For a very long time, I was trapped within the crystal golem. From my home I was taken, and banished to a plane of distortion. It was there that thou came to my rescue, long after I had relinquished all hope. So gleeful was I. My faith reneweth.
Glad to hear it, Oolacile.
The sorceries of Oolacile differ from the magic of thine age. It is difficult to explain. Oolacile's sorceries are, what doth one say? They're somewhat of an approximation. Thine sorceries are more straightforward, negating all but thyself. Dost thou not find some fascination in these discrepancies?
There is some fascination there, Oolacile, but can't really articulate that well.
The sorcery, thine...
She will have some more dialogue, I believe.
If thou art in need, pray summon me again. I wish to be of assistance. May the flames guide thee.
Sorry, Oolacile, don't know how much use we're actually going to get out of that, because we're not a sorcerer. But yeah, she should have some more dialogue for us after the DLC. We'll see her again. But this time in the flesh, as opposed to as that kind of phantom from the past. But I'm going to homeward bone back. And then, before we can actually access the DLC, there's one other thing we have to do, and that is to enter into the first part of the Duke's Archives. You need to get the broken pendant from a crystal golem at the beginning of the Archives in order to be able to access the DLC and be pulled into the past by Manus. So that's what we're going to be doing. And Duke's Archives is accessed through this little side passage over here where we fought the Sentinels last time, and there's that Mimic over there. I'm not going to deal with that this time, but go ahead and give this guy the old run by. He can't follow you very far up here, so don't worry about it. You do get a good view of Anor Londo, though. That's pretty cool. I always like the Duke's Archives, too. It felt like a really kind of secluded location, and I guess that was the intent. But it's interesting because it seems like one of the least, I guess, ruined places in Lordran. And whether that's because Seath is kind of more careful about that kind of thing or not, I don't know, but the environment definitely doesn't seem as run down as the Undead Bird did. Uh-oh. So yeah, we have some more Fang Boars. Oh god. Oh, no, this might be it for us. Ooh. Holy shit, why am I so good at this video game? Ugh. Oh. Wow, man, I'm so good. I hate dealing with these guys, but gotta do it. Come on, idiot. Yeah, that's what I thought. Heh. You don't. They can drop the same things that the other Fang Boar dropped in the Undead Parish, or Undead Bird, I forget which exact area it was in. But you know where I'm talking about. Yeah, they can drop the same things. They're a little bit tougher. Alluring Skulls still do work on them, but don't have any of those with me right now. I'm not actually clipping through that wall. Uh-oh. I missed. This is gonna be... I wanted to not use that charging attack on us. Just because it's kind of hard to dodge. It's kind of like the Executioner Chariots from Dark Souls 2 in that way. You'll see you can actually take damage from the front. I don't know if it's reduced damage or what, but we're not having that hard a time tackling him today. There we go. But yeah, kind of a hard timing. Another Fangborn Helm. So I just usually try and bait out those attacks if I have to fight them at close range. You're kind of almost forced to here. He's the first bonfire in the Duke's Archives. I don't know if you can actually warp to this bonfire, but you can warp from it, as with any other bonfire, so not much of note in here, just that first part of the area, and then you pull this lever, and then you're in the Duke's Archives proper. That's kind of the lead up. A pretty good defense against, you know, most hollows, I guess. These crystal hollows over here, a little bit more dangerous than your average hollow. They have been crystallized by Seath's research, and they deal a lot more damage, and they take a lot less damage than normal hollows. Oh, they can drop their weapons, though. I know these guys can drop their bows, and everything else can drop their crystal weapons. That's pretty cool. I wonder if you drop one for us now. Oh god, damage buffed. Don't want to deal with these guys. So there's channelers here, as you would expect in one of Seath's areas. Oh shit. These guys have some new attacks for us. Missed him. Missed him again. That time we didn't, though. Fuck off, dude. So these guys can aggro from quite a ways away. That's the golem we actually need to deal with, but I want to make sure we're not going to get ambushed. Drop the longbow. Okay, he's going to buff, so I'll go ahead and take this opportunity to start wailing on this guy. Uh-oh. As I say it, we get fucking pot-shotted again. Two more should do it. There we go. And now we can get the fuck out of here. So he drops the broken pendant. And he also gave us a blue titanite chunk. Not that useful for us. But that's okay. I'll pull the lever, get out of here, and then we can actually start on the DLC. I'll examine that broken pendant while we're here. Interestingly enough, we're not the only ones that have gotten one of these, as we'll see later. Here it is. Broken stone pendant, deeply enchanted. Half of a broken stone pendant. The vine appears to originate from Oolacile. A powerful magic can be sensed from this ancient stone, yet men of this time can neither manipulate nor sense its power, which has a distinct air consisting of both reverence and nostalgia. Interesting description. Can we level up? We can. I'll go ahead and get one more faith. I think I'm probably going to end up leaving faith about 40. Seems like a good place to stop. Our weapon's doing enough damage as it is, and I would like to wear more armor, so let's head back to the Ended Parish. So the way that you access the DLC is with the broken pendant in your inventory, which obviously you need the Lord Vessel to get. You go back to where we fought the Hydra, and that golden crystal golem. And then right when you get up to where it is, you'll get pulled into the past. And then from there you get put at a bonfire and then have to fight the first boss. I think that having a Lord Vessel required to have access to this area is kind of a gameplay consideration, because there would be no other way to get out if you weren't able to warp. So I don't know how much we should read into that. But What I'm trying to say is I don't know if there's any lore significance necessarily to that, other than, you know, I guess whoever had that broken pendant was trapped by Seath. I guess that's one way to explain it, but... Believe what you want, you know? I think that's the great thing about a lot of the lore and stuff in Dark Souls, is that it leaves a lot up to fan interpretation. So while it can be easy to read too much into certain things that are provided as gameplay points or, you know, things like item descriptions, everything that is important to the story is obviously there for a reason. So little is said in the way of narration that everything that is committed to words or dialogue, it really means a lot. So that's another thing to keep in mind. This time, do not want to deal with these guys. They're not hard, but, you know, there's no point. They're not really going to give us anything that we need. And they will eventually stop following you. Like I said, can be easier to get through here with the Rusted Iron Ring. Without the Hydra here, it's not too big a deal, though. It'll just take a little bit more stamina. Darkroot Basin's a cool area, though. Very atmospheric. Same thing with the Darkroot Garden. Darkroot Garden actually maybe more so because of all the trees and the darkness and, I guess how kind of creepy the demonic foliage is. See that portal over there. It's ominous looking. I wonder if we can get this item before we examine that. I don't know if we can. I don't even know what this item is. Ah, it's Dusk's armor. Creepy. Uh-oh. It does not look enjoyable. But he takes us through that portal all the way into the past, thanks, I guess, to Lordran's time distortion. So here we are, in the Sanctuary Garden. You want to rest at this bonfire? And that guy's summon sign disappeared. Oh, who is he? He looks to be some sort of warrior. That's a pretty cool spear. I don't know what that is. Interesting. We're going to go ahead and try and beat this first boss without any help at first, which is probably a bad idea because I am awful at this guy. Oh well. This Chimera. He combos pretty heavily. Having the Rusted Iron Ring here can help as well, I think. I just start frantically rolling whenever he does that, basically. Oh, man. The thing about his lightning attacks that you might want to be careful for is that whenever a lightning attack hits open water, it'll do that AoE effect that lingers a little bit. So it can be kind of hard to dodge all of the damage from his attacks. That shockwave attack is one that he does. His lightning ones are kind of more dangerous. I think we can actually stagger him with the majority of our strong attacks though, which is nice. Locking on can be kind of hard for this fight. Also, don't try to stand behind him because he will hit you with that poison tail. Oh, fuck. I am honestly surprised we managed to dodge that, truth be told. His lightning attacks, way more dangerous than his physical attacks for the most part, unless you get comboed by that one that hits you like a billion times. Uh-oh, this is not good. I got greedy, a little bit greedy there. I saw we can stagger him, so I tried it. Uh-oh, that's not good. He'll usually follow that big attack up, or that kind of multiple lightning bolt attack with his running attack. With only 5 Estus flags, this guy can be kind of hard too. But key is to hopefully get him to use his physical attacks, not his magic attacks. I don't know what you're trying to do there, buddy. You want to roll after that attack. Nice. Oh no! Please God. Fuck. Come on, man. But after that attack, you're gonna want to roll when he's kind of in his run or his dive. Drops the Guardian Soul. I'm surprised we beat him on the first try, actually, because he is kind of one of the more difficult bosses with a slow weapon, or without a shield. But we did it. So yeah, the attack patterns you want to watch out is that flyover attack with the lightning. When he's like directly over your head, that's when you can start rolling in any one direction, and then he'll usually miss with that. That really heavy lightning attack he does, where he stands in place. I don't know the timing to dodge that one. He doesn't use it all that often, really. I think he only uses it if you're at max range or something like that. I don't know. But the combo attack is hard to punish, so you don't want to get too greedy on that. The flying attack is one of the easier ones, as well as that heavy ground slam, and then that charge with only one headbutt. So do with that information what you will. Here we are in Oolacile's Sanctuary. It is reminiscent of the Darkroot Garden because that is where Oolacile was. Don't know if the infection of the Abyss had anything to do with how the Darkroot Garden turned out, but we will be able to see areas that will remind us of that going forward.
Well, look at this one. From what faraway age hast thou come? Thy scent is very human indeed, but not intolerable. Ah, Princess Dusk's savior. Thine aura is precisely as she described. I thank thee deeply for rescuing Her Highness. But Princess Dusk is here no longer, snatched away by that horrifying primeval human. And so I must ask, couldst thou once more play the savior? Thank you. I am Elizabeth, guardian of this sanctuary. Something of a godmother to Princess Dusk. I shall assist thee to my utmost, for I am one with the sorceries of Oolacile.
Interesting. She sells repair powder and gold pine resin, as well as a lot of the same sorceries that that Dusk sells, and the same catalysts. Probably Dusk's teacher, I guess, when it comes to sorceries.
Thou shalt see further on. An abyss was begat of the ancient beast, and threatens to swallow the whole of Oolacile. Knight Artorias came to stop this. But such a hero has nary a murmur of dark. Without doubt he will be swallowed by the abyss, overcome by its utter blackness. Indeed, the abyss may be unstoppable. Still, I have faith that Princess Dusk may be rescued yet.
So from that, we know that Artorias is here, or he's at least been here. Where he is now, we don't know. We will see him later, though. He's a very prominent character in this story, as is Sif. We actually managed to see all of the remaining Lord's Blades, or not Lord's Blades, the Lord's Knights here. Hawkeye Goff is trapped in a tower. Artorias is here in the same location, and then we get to see Lord's Blade Kieran after we see Artorias. And we saw the first knight, the captain, Ornstein, the Dragon Slayer, in Anor Londo. So that's cool. That ties together a little bit of the lore. We get to meet those legendary heroes, and you see Elizabeth said that he has nary a murmur of dark, and I kind of been wondering what that meant, but I guess Artorias involves some sort of, like, there's cut content associated with him in the form of dialogue, but we know that he probably is not human, because he was bequeathed part of the Lord's soul by Lord Gwyn, and we know that apparently the Abyss is some sort of symbol or area that is very much associated with the Dark Soul. And I guess that means that if you don't have some sort of fragment of the Dark Soul, if you're not human, and you have no humanity, then you can't conquer the Abyss. And I guess that might be what happened to Artorias. We can see. I don't know if she has any other dialogue for us now.
Thou shalt see
Yeah.
a night without in still.
So we'll see what happened to Artorias next time, probably. I think we might be out of time this episode. This is a pretty big area. A lot of exploration, a lot of enemies, a lot of shortcuts. I think there are 3 or 4 distinct areas here, each of which we're going to be exploring.
May the flames guide thee.
It is a very fun area, though, if you have the right equipment for it. I think I usually tackle this at around 65 to 70, at least to start. By the time you get out of here, you're probably going to be in the 80s, which is pretty good. It's a good transition area. And definitely, it's going to be more of a challenge at the lower level you tackle it. But this is intended as more of a late mid-game area, I think. And this peaceful little area is definitely not going to be a theme going forward. The environments can be peaceful, but the denizens not very much. Not very much alike. I think this is actually where I'm going to end it, though. I'll rest, and I'll get another level of endurance. Boost that equip load to 111.6. And then, until next time, I will talk to you guys